you're wondering what's happening with Northwest Suburbs and real estate prices, today we have the newest market update show just for you. And we're going to change things around. I brought Mike Wieczorek from Anderson Financial to give you a little bit of opinions about the numbers that we're going to present today.
I also wore this very nice mustache just to keep it interesting, but we have some great facts, so stay tuned.
Yeah, it's a little bit of changes in our Northwest Suburban real estate market show. Today we're going to start with sold prices. So if you're curious what's happening with real estate, what's happening with prices, I want to let you know in January the average sold price increased by about $12,000 and ended up at $435,000. That's about 2.7% increase from the numbers that we saw at the end of 2023.
We'll get to it, but can you imagine when rates go down what that statistic's going to look like?
Yeah, so I think one of the things, if you're a buyer looking to buy a property, usually we see beginning of the year the prices are slower and lower, and they're going to accelerate with the higher prices in March, April, and May, right? So Mike, what do you think is going to happen in the next couple of months?
Well, I mean, it really is dependent on what the Fed wants to do with rates, right?
Okay.
There's a lot of different predictions, but I will tell you this, we've chatted about this a lot, Mike. If and when the rates do come down, you're going to see a lot of people enter the market. And that doesn't mean that there might be a huge surge of inventory. So what's going to happen to those prices? People are going to compete for those homes now, right? They're going to drive prices up. So still a good time to be looking at getting into real estate.
And I think law of supply and demand, right? At the end of last year, the rates increased sharply, quickly, and it priced out a lot of the buyers out of the marketplace. So they have a lot of the same goals for this year. They would like to buy a property, and I don't think inventory is there quite there yet, right? So you might see at the beginning of the year with a lot more buyers, especially when they get their tax refund money that they can use as a down payment, and their inventory not catching up with them and prices going up.
That's a great point too. People are going to have a little extra money on hand and they're going to be ready, so you should be too.
All right, so if you're a seller, right, we're also going to talk a little bit about asking prices. So asking prices increased by about 4.12%, and they ended up at $457,000 last month.
Yeah, same thing, right? I mean, just the law of supply and demand.
So I think that sellers are feeling a little bit of bullish right now because when they search the neighborhood, they don't see tons of signs out there. They don't see a lot of properties out there. So they can start with a little bit higher pricing in hopes that the market is going to catch up to their price, right? If they miss their price point, they're going to have a little bit more time to adjust the price later in the spring.
Have you seen, like in conversation, those sellers being a little bit more tough with you on the listing price, saying, no, I think we should list for this much higher?
So it's not only this year, it's always been pretty the same conversation, right? But we always have to kind of talk a little bit about the buyer availability, the mortgages, and also having the appraisal, right? The appraiser is going to come in and check for comparables that sold. Usually they have 3 to 4 sold properties and 2 to 3 active listings, right? So sometimes at the beginning of the year might be challenging. If you're a seller, if you get really high price and the comparables are from November or December, usually those sold cheaper, right? So we will have to have a balance to make sure that we list your property at the correct price, get a lot of buyer attention to it with multiple offers, and we select the offer that makes the best financial terms for you as a seller.
And I've heard some buyers, show that concern. I don't want to overpay for a property. Well, Mike just said it. The process will regulate that. So if in the event you feel like you might have, and then the appraisal comes in and it's $40,000 below what you're paying for the property, you are still going to be an attorney review and have an opportunity to back out or say, okay, hey, the extra 40, I get it. But so again, there's different things in place for you within the process that are going to help regulate your purchase amount.
And actually this brings us to our next statistic, the sold price to asking price ratio, right? So we've been talking about this a lot. Last month, the sold price ratio decreased about 97.86%, which is a very low number, right? So for those buyers who are looking in the winter, they were able to secure a little bit bigger discounts. This is going to be rapidly changing. Right now, we're in the beginning of February. We're going to see that a lot more buyers are out there making offers. We're going to see that ratio creep up closer to 100%. And I wouldn't be surprised by March or April, it's going to go over the 100% number, right?
Hey, you're seeing it just over this past weekend. You had a big weekend. People are out there shopping.
Yeah, and then there's a couple of buyers that ended up in multiple offer situations, and if the home makes sense, they're going to put the price a bit over the asking price. Yeah. Last year, for about 6 months in a row, we saw the sold price to asking price ratio be over 100%, right? Because the inventory, there's just not enough single-family homes out there for the potential buyers to secure, especially in the lower price points.
And I'm really proud to say that those buyers did use the relocation guide to get some of their information, about the towns that they were looking in, and made it easier and felt more comfortable in writing those contracts. So
right, again,
continue to talk about that.
Yeah, if you're interested, click on the link below. You register for our relocation guide. We're gonna send it right over. Every town has those recent statistics for asking price, sold prices, and the sold price ratio. So you're gonna be able to see that all in one book.
A lot of good information. We're going to continue to add to it as well, so stay tuned for that. But
cool. So if you're still interested in Northwest Suburban single-family homes, our market, we're going to talk a little bit about the numbers of homes sold, right? Usually the winter is not the busiest time here in Chicago. We had about 62 closed transactions in the month of January, right? Mike, how does that correspond in your lending world?
I mean, directly, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you're still going to have cash buyers, but we're seeing things pick up, especially even on the pre-approval side. I mean, we have a few hundred, that's the real number of folks that have been pre-approved and not actually purchased, and that number is starting to climb too. So,
just a fun fact: do you know in January of 2021, in the same area, same month, right? January, there was 100 closings, right? So last month we only had 62 closings, so we're down 38% from off that number.
Yeah, that right? it feels very accurate.
Right, and then it's not because the buyers are not out there. There's buyers that want to buy homes. There's just not enough listings available in the market. So if you're a home seller, if you're thinking about selling this year, early spring is your best time to sell. We're just 1 week away from the Super Bowl Sunday, right? We always hear that saying that in Chicago, real estate market starts right after Super Bowl. To me, if I was a seller, I'll put my home very next day on the market and wait for all those buyers to come in.
And they're going to get top dollar in the spring market, right?
Sure, right? So our next statistic is a new listings. So we saw 82 new listings being available on the MLS market in January of 2023. I think it's a still significant decrease. It's about 1/3 of the number that we saw in 2020. Also, if you're looking for starter homes, right? The homes under $350,000, it's about 0.6 of available inventory. Wow. Right? So again, if you're a seller and you're in a very great position, this is a seller's market. You're going to be able to put the property in the market and get a lot of attention to it. If you're a buyer, the number of new listings that's significantly less than the years prior suggests that we're not heading into a real estate crash. I had a conversation with the buyer that just got under contract on Saturday, and he was a little bit worried, right, that maybe he's overpaying for a property and the prices market might crash this year. There's nothing in our data, and I've been talking about this for the last 4.5 years. There's nothing in the data right now suggesting that we're going to a real estate crash.
No, this is, people that have PTSD of the last crash. The basis of the loan, like the bedrock of these loans, is solid. People have never been more strictly underwritten, in the past couple of decades. So there is no bubble, right? There is no hollow point where everything's going to crumble underneath it. So anyway, I agree with you, and do what you need to do. Use this information. Use the relocation guide. Call us to get the confidence to get out there and shop. Because if you think that the prices are high now, just again, imagine what they're going to be when everybody rushes the market.
Yes, I know it's super difficult to give you all the data within the 15-minute market update show, but we always invite you to come in, sit down in the office with us. I will show you all the statistics, all the charts, all the graphs. We'll go subdivision to subdivision, town to town. So I want to show you the localized data for your subdivision versus if you're getting information from CNBC News and it's all national data, right? It's a little bit different here in Illinois. Our market is a little bit more stable. There's not enough inventory. So I want you to think of us as your local resource for real estate knowledge.
Yeah, and mortgage.
Right.
We'll get you ready. We'll get you, feeling safe about investing for your future in real estate.
So I know we talked a little bit about supply and demand, and that's really reflected in months of inventory of available properties. This is one of the statistics I like to use when I sit down with sellers or brand new home buyers looking for new properties. So again, our months of inventory is very low. It came in at 1 month. So if we saw 62 closings, there might be 62 single-family homes on the market right now. Also, if you're looking under $350,000, $400,000, that number is a lot less. It's about half a month to 0.6 months of inventory. If you're looking at a higher price point, let's say 800, 900 plus, that might open up a little bit. There might be 3.5 to 4 months of inventory. So it all depends on your situation.
It's never been tighter in the market. So again, Mike, those sellers out there that are on the fence, I'd say reach out and at least get the conversation started on what might be available. And you're going to get top dollar, especially with the spring market coming.
So let's talk a little bit about the demand side, right? We always work with a lot of buyers that want to go in showings, and we want to show them what could happen with the potential competition. So the number of showings in January of 2024 came in at almost 1,900 showings in our area, right? That number is still a lot less than the years prior. I will show you all the graphs in a little bit. But we're gonna see that number increase over in February, March, April. You're gonna see a lot more buyers out there.
How many do you think would be out there? I mean, you're talking like another 20%?
So I think in February, we're gonna probably hit close to 2,700 to 2,800 showings. Just for comparison, right? In the months post-pandemic, right? When people were so tired of sitting at home, let's say in August, we had almost 7,000 showings recorded in the area, right? So 3.5 times as much as in January, right? So please remember, also in January, we didn't have a lot of great weather, right? We had a couple of snow days, ice days. Right now, the weather holds up. We have nice sunnier days. There's gonna be more activity. All that pent-up demand from last year, buyers might be itching to go and find the right home for them this spring.
100%, they are itching to go. And like I said, we have over 300 people that have gone through the process of getting pre-approved, doing an application, sending documents, and are out there ready to be shopping. And that number increases each day, so the demand is certainly there.
So I think the next statistics I want to share with you is the showings per listing, right? This number is a little bit more towards maybe the sellers, right? To kind of explain what's happening in the market. So last month, the number of showings came in at about 13, right? To me, this is a still pretty big number. When you list your property, you can expect 13 buyers calling and showing up to the property to take a look inside. For comparison, usually in the month of January, let's say if we take 2018, 19, 2020, we had only about 5 to 6 showings per listing.
I know, I just was in Lombard at a house near my sister's home. They had 26 showings, and I think they got 17 offers. 16 of them were above list price. That information came from the realtor who was listing it, saying, hey, neighbors, if you want to sell a house, this is what's going on down the street. So you could, probably benefit from either having whatever type of conversation. Same thing applies here, guys. Right. Open up the conversation.
Right, so we don't want those numbers to scare the prospective buyers out there. There's still deals to have, right?
Oh yeah.
Go out, get your pre-approval set, get all your documentation set. There might be a home that's perfect for you. There might be some other showings, but you got to act quickly. You got to, if you go and visit the property, you want to make the offer the same day.
Absolutely. And that crowd of people, that 300 plus, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why they haven't acted, and a lot of them actually have acted, and maybe just, it didn't work out. But absolutely, they are still out there trying, and you get with the right people, they're going to have success when the right home comes, across their plate.
So since we're talking a little about time frames, I want to share our last statistic for today is going to be days on the market, and that actually came in at 34 days, which has been very, very stable. It's been under 40 days for about a year and a half now, right?
And that's till they go under contract, right?
From under contract to closing, or actually from list date to closing, right?
Really?
It's average.
So those are what? Contracts are probably coming in, in the first 5 days.
First few days on the market,
That's
you
big.
get a contract, right? And a lot of them, if they're still with the mortgage, right, on the lending side, you would probably like the luxury of having a 30-day close, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of them, all the inventory on average is 34 days to the closing, right?
It's not a long time.
Right. So if you're acting, if you're serious about buying a home, we don't want you to miss on any of the updates. Be proactive. If there's a showing or a home that came out, you want to go on a showing, you want to do it in the first few days. Waiting till the weekend might not be the winning strategy because the home might be under contract already if you schedule your showing for the first Saturday or Sunday on the market.
And don't get scared. We can run numbers for you. You would be amazed that an extra $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on a sales price spread over 30 years or 360 payments is a pretty nominal amount on a monthly basis. So let's get your fears and apprehensions, removed and get you out shopping and putting in contracts today.
Yeah, so thank you so much for watching our North Suburban Market Update show today. We want to encourage you to take advantage of our Chicagoland relocation guide. There's a lot of great resources here for you with all the statistics, school ratings, safety ratings. Mike negotiated a lot of discounts from different service providers. So if you use our discount code, move to Chicago Suburbs, you're going to be able to secure discounts on your next transaction. And I want to say big thanks to Castle Law for letting us use this space. They're an amazing law firm. If you need any representation, if you're buying or selling, going through a divorce, or you need some help with estate planning, they're here for you. So reach out to us. We're going to connect you. If you have any questions about anything that's included in the relocation guide, or if you want to have a specific statistic about your home or the neighborhood where you're looking, reach out and I'll custom tailor those just for you.
We're here to help and look forward to talking with you soon.
And don't be a stranger. Share our video, comment, link, and subscribe to our channel. We're going to look forward to provide you updates in the very near future.
We'll get you access to that relocation guide for helping us out too.
Talk to you soon.